I love it. Man, I love this thing. That is why you buy a Mustang. That is why the Cody and the 10-speed are so awesome. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, yeah. Let the Cody rev on up. Into second. Let's hit it. Okay, let's get into our modes. I want to start with, this car is a GT Performance Pack. It does have the active dampeners, I guess is what the owner's manual calls it. I'll just call it the Magna Ride. I believe I'm using that correctly to interchange those terms. The cars that came with this would be both the Shelbys, the GT350 and the GT500. The Mach came standard with it. The Bullet, it was optional. The Performance Packs, it is optional in both the GT and the EcoBoost. You are going to see down here that I can change the suspension. Your car may not have that, and that's okay. If you've got the modes, you can still play with this quite a bit, and the car will feel totally different in each mode. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to show you how to get into this screen for starters. From your main menu, you go down to your track apps. At least that's how it is on my car, and status screen. Right now, I am in normal mode. Normal mode, well, what Ford considers normal, I'd say they kind of hit it. This car feels like just any other car on the road in normal mode. It's a little sluggish. The throttle response is not very good. It's always in a gear that's just a little too high. I think they did this probably for fuel economy. I don't really know, but the car does not have any kind of a sporty feel in normal mode. It's not exactly what you're looking for whenever you want to take the car out and have some fun. The exhaust, however, does sound great in normal mode. This one has the active exhaust, and so it's got the little butterfly valves in there. It still lets out plenty of sound. The exhaust note, honestly, is just right. It's not droning or anything like that. Steering, normal. Steering can tighten and loosen based on what mode you're in. So in normal mode, normal steering makes sense. The suspension, the active dampeners, well, normal, which actually is pretty great for most of the roads around here. When you're on uneven road surfaces or anything that's not just perfectly smooth, I do recommend normal mode on your suspension if you have the Magna Ride. I know that whenever you stiffen it up, boy, it can get a little intense. Unless you're really ready to hang on, I do like normal mode for that. Moving on, let's change the mode. So push up on the toggle. Let's come over here, let's put it in Sport Plus. So what does Sport Plus do for us? Well, it probably does even a lot more than what I'm gonna cover, but I'm gonna try to just hit the meat and potatoes of it, guys. I mean, I just want the basics and what I notice when I'm driving it. In Sport Plus, your exhaust now is in sport mode, definitely is a little louder. Sport's great. Steering's a little tighter. You don't have to move the wheel near as much to get some reaction out of it. And then the suspension is now in sport mode. When the suspension is in sport mode, it stiffens up. Those roads, they do feel a little more jarring. That is what you want if you're super serious about feeling the road underneath you. Also, one thing I do need to mention, so when you're in Sport Plus, the throttle response is a lot better. The pedal, it's right there. You start giving it a little, man, it's ready to downshift, it's ready to go. Sport mode is a lot of fun. I don't really use it much if there's traffic around or anything like that. But if you are in an area where you can do a little more aggressive driving or you've got some road out ahead of you, great mode. Next one, we've got track. So in track mode, first thing you'll notice, the traction control has now been turned off. It's not fully off. We didn't turn off advanced track, but traction control is off. Ford does not recommend this unless you're on a road course or somewhere that if you do go flying off the road, it's gonna be okay. I, however, do use it every now and then for some spirited driving and some spots that I've had a little bit of fun in. I do not push the car to the limit. I do not intend on finding the car's limit. The exhaust, well, the exhaust now is in track. That is a much louder exhaust. I do like this when you're going wide open throttle. It gives it all to you. Great, great sound. Sport on the steering, just like in Sport Plus, our steering's tightened up. The suspension, we're now in track mode. One of the things that I have heard, I don't know if it's fully true, I think it is that when the MagneRide goes into track mode, the car does set a little bit lower. It's a little more stealthy through those corners and everything. I love this mode. Absolutely love this mode for having fun. You just have to be a little careful with it. Throttle response is awesome. The downshifts are very aggressive. This is where if you've got that 10-speed automatic and you want to hear some cool sounds out your exhaust, it's probably going to be in this mode unless you start messing with the paddles. We will get into the paddles a little later on. Next mode is drag mode. The exhaust stays in track, so it's giving it all to you. We'll say a lot more drone. I do not want to cruise around in drag mode. I think it's something about, unless you're wide open throttle, it's putting you in too high of a gear. Track mode is my preferred mode if you want to hear that exhaust and drive, or even just Sport Plus. I would not drive around in drag mode. Just feels sluggish. It's all about wide open throttle when you're in this mode, guys. The steering is in Sport, and then obviously, as you can see, oh, hit my wipers. The suspension is in drag strip. And what I think that is doing is, I think it's trying to transfer the weight to the back. It does do a great job of this, it seems. However, do keep in mind, even though you've got this MagneRide suspension and it's helping you out off the line and through the shifts, the rear of this car, man, it still has wheel hop, and the MagneRide cannot make up for the wheel hop. I am looking into the Steeda Stop the Hop kit, or maybe some other brand, but some kind of stop the hop. You'll be careful in this, and to get your full advantage out of this, you've got to disable the traction control. Otherwise, this thing is so aggressive when you go full throttle in drag strip mode, it's just going to be kicking on the traction control the whole time. Found that out firsthand. Last mode, just while we're here, it's not really the one everybody likes to talk about, but it just might be the most important one. Snow wet. Puts all three, your suspension, your steering, and your exhaust into normal. However, man, the pedal, you can give it half pedal and barely get any RPM out of this car, which is what you want, obviously, if you're in the rain or snow. Highly recommend, if you're in any kind of hazardous road condition, put the car in this mode. It could be what saves it for another day whenever you want to have some fun. Last thing, this is my preferred mode, so something I didn't know when I first bought the car. Go to normal mode, and then come on down to your gear shifter, put it in S, and when you do that, you're now just in sport mode. So you've still got the comfortable suspension, you've still got the exhaust that isn't wide open, which, like I said earlier, is still great, and the steering is normal. However, what changed? Well, instead of it putting you in that sluggish higher gear that is looking for fuel economy, you're now in a little bit lower gear. Throttle response is pretty good. It's not quite as jumpy as it is in Sport Plus or anything like that. Try it out sometime on your modes. And then you can also go ahead and change your steering feel, just a little added thing here. So you can go to comfort. You can set it even more comfortable. Everything is very comfortable in this mode. However, I've got the throttle response and I've got the transmission working in my favor now, but not too aggressive. It's nothing too dramatic. You can cruise traffic like this and feel like the car at any moment, if you need a little oomph, you've got it. Get into something a little more exciting than staring at this screen. Let's get into the paddles and what they do and go for a little drive. Right now I'm in normal mode and I'm just in drive. The first thing that I'm going to want to do, drop the gear shifter into S. Now that I'm into S, hit my downshift button. You'll see a number. I'm in second gear. That will not change until I either hit down or up again. When you put this in S, it will lock it into the gear that you have chosen. So right now we could just stay in second. And as a lot of you guys know, the Coyote, it loves RPMs. That's where this motor shines. So you really got to get up into the 4,500 RPMs to really see what it can do and take some turns and have some fun. Not to mention it's a lot louder. My favorite mode for spirited driving, I like to go ahead and put it into track. We went over the modes a while ago. Track mode, got my suspension set and all that. Now I'm in sport and I've got control over what gear I'm in. don't want to do anything too crazy. We got people out. I'm not looking to be a obnoxious person. Just looking to have a little fun. When we get away from everybody, we'll let it open up a little bit. So I'm clicking down. So I'm in control right now. Let's say that I want to get out of the paddles. So all I do is I hold my plus, and you'll notice the number there in the middle went away. So now the car, rev down, the car is back to shifting. That is all you have to do. I used to go from S to D. That is something you do if you're roll racing. I don't know if I want to address that in this one or another one, but you do go from S to D for that. But if you're just playing with the paddles, no, leave it. Okay, say I want to take this U-turn right here. I'm going to start clicking down. Get down into second. Let's hit it. And then I'm quick on the paddle. Just keeping it in that 4,000. I'm not doing anything crazy. But a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Now let's say we want to turn right here. Looking clear. Oh yeah. I do want to totally clarify, I am not a road course guy. I do not have a lot of driving experience with taking corners. In fact, I have zero driving experience with taking corners until I bought this car. So anything that you see, I'm counting on the car to save me. There is not driver skill involved in this, but I love this. This is one of the reasons the car is still stock. I'm going to do a video on that eventually, but spoiler alert. Why is the car still stock? Because it is so much fun currently, as is, just taking these corners and downshifting and hearing it. I mean, I don't have to do anything to the car to put a big smile on my face. I am about to start modding it, but it's not because I'm not happy with the current performance. I am thrilled with the way this thing performs, and I've had it now 4 years and still stock. Here we go. All right, guys, let's have some fun. All right, yeah. Let the Coyote rev on up. Coyote loves RPM. Let's brake. 6-piston Brembos. Here we go. Brake. Downshift. Hug, hug, hug. The Pilot Sport 4S's, they're grabbing. Here we go. Hug, hug, hug. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're coming out of it. I'm gonna downshift one more. Oh man. Leave myself some room. Like I said, I don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm just out here having fun, guys. Yeah. Downshift again. 90-degree turn. Oh yeah. Like a champ. Magna ride, baby. Here we go. I love it. Man, I love this thing. That is why you buy a Mustang. That is why the Coyote and the 10-speed are so awesome. Man, love it. I could do this all day. Like I said, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know I'm having fun. I do know that. This is awesome. Okay, while we're on the topic, we've done paddles, we've done our modes, we've done some spirited driving. Let's tie it all together. Let's talk about if you were going to do a roll race. So I've got a drag race video. Please go check that out, because it was not in the manual how you need to drag race this car. It was almost 2 seconds faster when I found out the right modes and everything to do. So please go check out the video if you're interested in drag racing. I know there's a lot of videos on roll racing. I'm gonna do my best to give you my spin on it while we go through a school zone. How about that? I'm not gonna do it, guys. I'm just having fun. I'm gonna take you through the process though. So if you were gonna do a roll race, you would come over to your modes, put it in drag. Okay, not track, not sport. You want drag mode. Then, next, we are going to put the shifter into S. Okay, now the next big question is, are you doing a 40 roll or are you doing a 60 roll? If you're doing a 40 roll, second gear.
If you're doing a 60 roll, third gear. You're gonna come over to your paddles. Let's get out of the school zone. Excuse me, real important too, you would take advanced track off. Just pretend like I am going 40, I'm not gonna do it. But if I was going 40 with my advanced track off, key, advanced track off, then you hit it. And as you are hitting it, you push the gear shifter back up into drive. Do not push this lever. If you push this lever, you could miss it and go into neutral. It does have a lockout. So just slide it back into drive. Look, I'm sitting here hitting it and it will not go into neutral. So as you hit the pedal, you slide your gear shifter back into drive. That will allow the car to shift. That is going to give you your fastest shifts, your least amount of torque management. That is how you roll race the S550 Mustang. So if you just now bought an S550 Mustang, I think there's a lot of value in this. Please give me some feedback in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts and ideas or what you think of your car. I appreciate it. Catch you next time.